Are you moving to North Carolina? Don't buy a house in North Carolina until you watch this video. And this is a step-by-step guide for you that you are out-of-state home buyers.
Now you might be searching online, you find this amazing property online, you hit a button, you want to write an offer, you're writing a check for $5,000, and then 3 days later you find out that house crawl space issues. That house has major issues. It's going to cost about $50,000 to make. I'm just making up a number. And you decide walk away. Well, what happens to that $5,000 check you wrote? Well, it's gone. It's gone to the seller, and the seller legally going to keep it, every single penny. And this is North Carolina real estate, and this is what we're talking about. And if that scares you, I hope it does, because there are ways we need to talk about it, because we love North Carolina, but we want to say you have to understand how it works around here.
And we are Alan and Victoria Pinder, real estate agent in North Carolina, and we have helped tons of families make the move to this our area, Greenville and Winterville, part of the Pitt County, North Carolina, and we are here for you.
And we know that 300,000 people have moved from North Carolina in a single year from California, New York, and Florida. But we also understand that North Carolina is unique and confusing, because when we were out-of-state buyers ourselves once upon a time, and when they told me about this fees, I was like, what are you talking about? That wasn't how it was before. And it's very confusing for you, and we've tried to make it very clear. The very thing we're talking about is that due diligence fee, that due diligence money, and this no out-of-state buyers ever heard of, and you get stuck on.
Exactly. Therefore, we are going here to give you an ultimate goal, a guide, a step-by-step that on buying even home from distance and saving your cash and closing on your new home without even getting on an airplane.
And we're going to do it for the best way thing. So let's go back to that monster in the room. Due diligence fee. If you're from anywhere else, you've heard of earnest money. Absolutely, you've heard of earnest money. You put money down, it stays at the lawyer's office, you inspect the house, you don't like it, you back out of the deal, and you get your money back. But this is North Carolina. We have two checks in our contracts. One is the due diligence fee, and one is that earnest money, and nobody cares about earnest money. They care about the due diligence fee, because it is a fee paid directly to the seller after your offer is accepted, and it is non-refundable.
Exactly. Therefore, it doesn't matter that you change your mind, your loan didn't go through, a family emergency happened. What doesn't matter at all? What is the reason? They simply can get it. And the seller, basically, this fee compensates the seller for taking their home off of the market while you are doing all of your due diligence for inspection and knowing everything about that home.
So this means if the inspection is bad, you cancel the contract, they're keeping the money. The only time you get this money back is if the seller breaches the contract, which typically doesn't happen. I've seen it happen, but it doesn't happen often. The fee is negotiable. We're not telling you it has to be $2,500. It can be $10,000. It just depends on what kind of house, what kind of deal we're talking about. But either way, when you put money on the line, you put your hard-earned money on the line. Now, yes, we do have the earnest money. As I said, nobody cares about it, but talk to me a little bit about it.
Exactly. Therefore, earnest money that we have it in all the 49 states other than North Carolina.
Well, we have it here too, but nobody cares.
Therefore, this is a good phrase money that you probably used to use it in the other 49 states. It goes to the escrow account. Usually in our area, the closing agent is the attorney. And with the attorney area or the real estate firm, not the seller directly. This is typically runs about 1% to 3% of the purchase price. Now, here's this good news. The money for earnest money or the earnest money is refundable if you terminate the contract properly during that due diligence period that is specified in your contract.
Now, can you say you get out of the due diligence fee? No, it can be low. We have to deal with it, but we have to make sure we're picking something that's going to make sense. Due diligence fee buys you the time. Earnest money shows your commitment. And if you're balancing an offer, your due diligence fee is going to show that is going to be more desirable for a seller, because it means that they're putting cash in their pocket. However, if that house turns out to be bad, this buyer is stuck. So this is the truth, and especially if you're out of town. So let's talk about this. We buy houses all the time for people. Don't be afraid of it. It happens, but we just have to be smart about it. We have to make sure that we have at least, my husband and I have at least, if you're not here, we've at least walked the house for you, and we've given our opinion. And then even after we go under contract, we're still doing these things called inspections.
Exactly. Therefore, now in this time, we wanted to talk about all the timeline. Now that we scared you straight up on the money, let's talk about how fast does this train move. No? That from the second that your offer actually is accepted, the moment that you get those beautiful keys in your hand. And typical time in North Carolina is 30 days, but it can stretch to more than 30 days, maybe 60 days. No?
Right.
Therefore, there is a specific window inside of the timer that matters more than anything else, and that's called due diligence period.
This is how long we have to do inspections. Typically, it's going to be between 10 to 14 days. I often negotiate it to be longer, but this is the terms of the sprint. As soon as we've done that, the clock starts ticking, and we have to do everything. We have to get the inspections, we have to negotiate the repairs, and we have to verify your financing. So if you find out that your financing is bad, you find out that in-house is really bad, and your due diligence period is walking away, you can lose your earnest money too. So we try to avoid all of that. So when time is of the essence, time is of the essence. So now let's talk about when you are an out-of-state buyer, you definitely should work with people who understand the pressures, because North Carolina is different, how we can protect you in these situations, because that is really the best thing we can. Exactly. We can't get your money back, but we can make sure that the deal is the best thing that we can get you, the deal.
Exactly. And how do we actually do this from 100 miles away from us, from the area in North Carolina? Here's 8 steps that we call it the blueprint guide for you that you're coming out of the state of North Carolina and you wanted to purchase a home. The first step, what it is?
Do not just talk to your bank in whatever state you're in, because this is typically not going to work. You have to have a lender who is licensed in North Carolina, understands why you're moving to North Carolina. Whether you're relocating for a job, it has to be known. Are you going closer to your family? Where you're going to work? Your lender needs to make sure that your offer letter and your projected due dates are actually verified. Everything has to be verified in North Carolina, because we're not risking a dime of your money if you are not verified. So then you have to actually be clear to close smoothly, because if you're an out-of-state lender and they don't know North Carolina rules, they're putting you in danger. So the second thing we're going to do after we talk about that pre-approval is make sure you have a real estate agent with boots on the ground who is looking for problems for you and being actively protective of you. It's not just looking at the photos. They haven't just written the offer that they've never seen themselves. You need people like us who really help people who are relocating all the time. We are going to go to that house, and what are we going to do with that house?
Exactly. If you are out of a state buyer and you cannot physically be present, definitely we're going to fire up some FaceTime walkthrough with you every room. Make sure if send the video, and make sure if there is a disclosure about that house, that property is available, we're going to review with you every line. If they talk about any plumbing, about the roof update, any about the crawl space, everything that is in that disclosure, we need to discuss. But we're gonna warn you that the state of North Carolina is home seller friendly, meaning that the home seller really they don't get.
We've done that enough. We're not scary anymore. Okay, but we also have to talk about how we're talking about traffic patterns, noise patterns, things that the creek in the backyard that the listing agent conveniently didn't take pictures of. We need to make sure that we're there with boots on the ground to give you all of that information. In step 3, we're going to talk about writing an offer that best protects you.
Okay, this is a good part. Let's say we did all of these things, FaceTime, walk you through if you're out of the town and you don't want it to be physically here. And then between all these houses that we showed, you said, Alan, Victoria, this is the house that I want. Now we're gonna look at the comps. We're gonna look at the recent sales in the area to figure out the right place. But the real art is negotiating the due diligence fee. And in a competitive market, to a higher fee makes you look stronger to the home sellers, because we said that due diligence provide that motivation for home seller to take off the market their house and wanted to give it to you. And this way we wanted to protect you down the line.
The next thing we're going to talk about is inspection. Immediately once we've signed the offer, we're going to talk about inspections. Even if you're buying new construction, I'm still going to recommend inspections, because we should make sure that we are getting these things, because A professional home inspection is going to look at the problem, and I would also recommend a pest inspection because we do live in the South. Pests are a real problem, especially termites in areas. But maybe you want to do, maybe you've heard of radon testing, which is true. Many people do that less here, but well and septic inspections, those are must-have because you're going to need to pay those. Those are, how are you going to go to the bathroom if you don't have a septic?
I mean, many of the houses, they have the water sewer for city, but some of them, they have city water, but might have the sewer well, or maybe even the septic system.
The next thing we're talking about is appraisal, step 5. We're going to order the appraisal right away. Why? We have to make sure we are under a timestamp to make sure that house is not, we're not waiting for the inspections to be over. All of those things have to be done during the due diligence period. So we have to make sure that the house is worth what we're paying. Now, if it comes in low, we're going to try to negotiate for you. There's some things, but during this time, I recommend we're not buying furniture for this house. We are not buying a car. We're not buying a new truck. We're not putting anything on our credit. We are not quitting our jobs. We are not killing our financial future because we want to change.
With a new credit card.
We're staying boring until you get the keys. Once you get the keys, you do what you want.
Exactly. Therefore, that's why it's so important to stay on the track for the timeline. Now, we're gonna go to the next level, which is the closing. And this one is no plane ticket required.
You don't have to, right? Because these are out of state.
Therefore, you made it through the inspection. You got the loan approval. Now is the closing. No. Therefore, we need to make sure that we have that closing.
We do recommend you were here, but if you can't be here, there is ways to go around it.
Exactly. Therefore, you need to really get those closing disclosure in your hand. Usually, they say 2 to 3 business days before closing. The loan officer, they're gonna provide it for you. Therefore, you need to review with them in loan officer, and if you want us, we can review it for you. You need to make sure that whatever they promise you that they give you with the loan term is already there and you're okay with the numbers.
Now, once you've done all that, then we have to talk to North Carolina is an attorney-run state. It's an attorney state, not a title company state. You're going to a licensed real estate attorney, and the attorney acts as a third party. They're doing all the title work, the title search, the deed, and the money situation. So for mail away closing, and if you wanted to do that, the attorney is going to draft out the documents, overnight them to you. Maybe you can email them and you can print them out, but then you must get them notarized in every place he tells you to do it. And the bank, your bank might have one, UPS might have one. We have to be very, very diligent because the worst part of mail aways is people often miss one of the spots where they were supposed to notarize, and you have to sign everything. The notary stamps it, you overnight it back to the attorney, and then once the package is here and the funds are here, then it can record, and boom, you're a homeowner. Easy peasy.
Exactly. Therefore, now we wanted to talk about the good news and hidden costs. We have talked about a lot about fees. Let's end some genuinely great news here. No, closing costs in North Carolina actually is very reasonable. The average closing cost for home buyer here is only about 0.56 of the sales price.
Now these are closing costs. So we're talking about if you're buying in cash, we're talking about if you're buying a $320,000 house in cash, you're paying $2,480 in closing costs. The national average for just that part alone is $4,600. Now, of course, if you have a mortgage, which most people do, they're going to have higher fees, and that's going to be included. So I'm going to say on average it's going to be about $7,000 for $320,000 house.
Exactly.
But this is going to include everything: title insurance, recording fees, attorneys. So, but I was just talking about with the cash you probably need to close on the house. So let's talk about this. Buying in North Carolina is an incredible decision. I'm so excited that you're coming here to the South, but still North Carolina version of the South. We have mountains, we have a coast, we have the job market, we have a quality of life that is really hard to beat. We have houses that are affordable to own, and you have to just understand we have a different process than what you're used to, like that due diligence fee, the 14-day inspection, but you need a local team that knows how to handle all of these things, and that is what Al and I do all the time.
Exactly. Therefore, trust us to move your guide, and that's why we are here. Please call us at 252-327-3357 looking for the real estate agent Alan Victoria that help you. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a comment, that ring that bell, and watch all of our playlists here. And we are here for you, and please contact us, and see you soon.
Absolutely.